Lucid. We are an independent training company. That means, and we specialize in training courses in how to install, test and manage fibre optics. So the installation and testing, and we do anything from very basic introductions to what is a fibre and what can you do with it, up to very advanced level testing and advanced technology. We are a City and Guilds Centre and an OCN Centre. City and Guilds because that's the sort of most popular qualification, and OCN because they're a lot more flexible and we can do far more advanced stuff. We have very few people on it. Then we also approved training provided by the Fibre Optics Industry Association. And in 2009 we won the Learning Development Provider Excellence and Recovery Awards. Unfortunately, they don't hold these anymore, so we haven't been able to enter again. I think that was the last event they had. There might have been one this year. But, our staff, we've got only full-time trainers, and we do that because the guarantee, I mean, all our guys are very, very good and they know exactly what they do, and we don't have the problems that if you contract in people, you can't guarantee the quality and consistency. And they're all highly qualified. I won't read this out. We've got a professor and assorted of qualifications, but when we totted it up, we've also got around, our guys between them, we've got about 140 years real world experience working in fibre optics. So they are really experts in their field. And also active in Assorted Industry Association, not just the Fibre Optics, but also the Northwest Photonics Association and Assorted Standards Committees. Now location, Lucid Training Centre is based in Garstang, that's why one of the reasons I'm here. We're sort of right in the middle of this Cybermoor and all the country rural broadband and that sort of things going on. This is where we are, as you can see. Some people, especially customers down in London, tend to think of it as middle of nowhere. That's how we sometimes. But on the other hand, you could say it's the centre of the UK, because it's right plonk in the middle. And that's sites where we have been given training courses over the years since we started in the UK. You can see quite well spread out. Been pretty much everywhere. There's not as many blocks up north of us, but the ones that are near Aberdeen are quite important to us. And it's quite nice when you go to Aberdeen. People up there actually think of Garstang as civilised, nice, close, convenient. This is a nice sort of new feeling for us. And we also train abroad at times. In Europe we've been quite a lot of different places. And over the years we've also been in Falklands, the States, Algeria, Angola and other weird places. Now that is quite interesting because it often involves shipping out a lot of equipment. And getting some £40,000 worth of fusion splicers, OTDRs and so on through customs in Nigeria can be quite interesting. That's one word for it. Now what you probably want to know most about is courses and products, what we actually do. Our main course is the City and Guilds 367 scheme for fibre optics. It's usually run as a 5-day course. We run quite a lot of them at Lucid in Scarsdale, and we also run them in various other places on customer locations. And that's basically everything you'd need to know to be able to go out and install fibre and splice it, and basic testing, commission testing. And it's basically industry standard in UK, that's what everybody will ask for. But we also do a lot of specialist and custom courses, and we do some fibre introduction, overview, very basic courses. We do courses for managers who want to know how to handle their contractors. And far more advanced courses in things like we can do a bit on how to blow in fibre, how to do specialist FT fibre to the home installations. We can do how to test long distance fibre or install umbilical cables for the oil industry, all sorts of things. Also, we do some training in network design and fibre technology, looking more at how to split up your fibres and things like that, and how to run several different signals down one fibre. This is probably, it's more backbone technology, but that's how you can have, I mean, you know about many fibres going over the Atlantic, that's how you can handle the volume of traffic going across the Atlantic with the very few fibres they've got. You basically, you can put a lot of information down one fibre. We also do testing courses, how to test your fibre, and we do a little bit of consultancy, mainly helping out customers or training customers. We've done specifications for various telecoms companies. We've done some test results analysis at times, and a few things like inspections of installations and audits when somebody wants an independent opinion of whether this is good enough, or if it isn't, we've done that. But it's, I mean, we really are, we specialise in training, and that's what we do. We don't do installations as such because we're competing against our trainees, and we don't sell equipment because, I mean, that means we can advise people independently and show them everything on courses. Our customers, we've got quite a few people coming through, booking us individuals because they want to do a career change. I mean, we had a helicopter sprayer coming along. We had one London taxi cab driver drove up here in a black taxi, which is quite interesting. It is big actually compared to normal car. We trained, done a couple of programs on some unemployed and detained people, detained being a polite way of saying prisoners. That was quite interesting. When you're training prisoners in cabling, you've got to take bolt rubbers, blow torches, wire cutters, hacksaws in. Now that was the first part of the course. It got even more interesting when we had to train them in pole erection. I mean, first of all, pole erection, anything about that course just gets stopped by these spam filters. But then you get the trying to get the manual pole erection unit into the prison was quite interesting. But to be honest, not actually worse than last week when my colleague was going into a meeting of a missile factory and he wanted to take his laptop in. And, I mean, security is one of these things you come across in a few places. We train probably, quite a lot of people are either self-employed in fibre splicers or work for very small companies where it might be a small company sending a few guys, including the boss. I mean, that's very common. We also done work for a lot of major telecoms companies, all the major ones in the UK and quite a lot in Europe. Can't say that much about it because I like to keep it very confidential for us. But I know we know where most of the major networks are now, which is quite nice. And we work quite a lot. There's a lot of fibre going in a lot of places, not just telecoms. There's oil industry use a lot of fibre in all sorts of places, also for sensing. Aerospace industry is keen on fibre because they can save tons on a jumper jet as opposed to copper. We've done quite a lot of work for public sector, by which I mean schools, council offices, things like that, as well as things like network rail, highways, that type of installations. And then we trained the Royal School of Signals, NPL, which is a National Physical Laboratory, CERN, which is the people down in Switzerland trying to smash hadrons into each other, and possibly annihilate us all, but never mind. NATO, RAF, Atomic Weapons Establishment, and ESA, that's the European Space Agency. So for a small company based in the middle of nowhere, we do get about a bit. Finally, our fibre broadband involvement, we're not, I mean, we're being helped here at Aston Cybermoor as bit as a neighbourly gesture, as Daniel said. Dave came up and spliced up some of your fibres, didn't he?
Yeah.
And we've helped a bit with down at Ray Castle as well and a few other places. But really, our main reason for Monmouth is we're passionate about fibre, and we want to be able to stay in Cumbria, stay where we are, and in order to do that, I mean, we believe everybody should be able to work where they want, not have to go to big cities or anything. And therefore, to keep running a business up here, we basically need super fast broadband, not much choice about it. And I mean, yeah, we're probably a little bit biased about fibre, but it is future-proof, and we think that's what we need in gas anyway. So that's a bit about what we do. If you have some more specific fibre questions, I'll try. But it's probably really my colleague you should be asking me some, but unfortunately he couldn't come today. So
Just say, Lucid have been fantastic for us, because when we put all the putting in with them to help the fibre put in, but then in terms of the rest of it, who does the what we did next, Lucid were able to give us some fantastic advice on that. And a key thing for Cybermoor is that we try and keep as much of the money in the local economy as possible, using local contractors. If we can't do it in Alston, then we'll try and do it with someone else in Cumbria. It's great to have a company like Lucid on the doorstep. And I think for those of you that are thinking of maybe putting together schemes in the future and seeing how you can trap that money in your village or in your parish, then try and get your people trained up with Lucid so they can actually do a lot of that work, and we don't see money going out to the county. Any questions?
Where do you get your fibre backbone from? In Glasgow, it doesn't come on the railway?
we're not quite that far yet. We're still looking at the options.
So you can actually have a...
We haven't got fibre and gas in yet, no. We've just started looking into the options for getting it, but we're...
That's just something I'm interested in general. Where are the fibre backbones in this country, and where can you get? Where are they we can link into them? I'd love to hear that.
That's a tricky question. It tends to be very confidential. Most of the major fibre networks, they are extremely secretive about where they've got their things. I mean, trying to find... We went down to train in a data centre down in Birmingham somewhere once. And data centres, I mean, where the major backbones or backhaul sort of comes into it, the only way to find them, there's no signs of doors, nobody wants to tell you there, but they're actually quite easy to spot because you just follow the overhead power lines. They take that much power. But no, it's quite... I have to find out where the backbones are. That's a good question, really. You'd have to go and ask them.
Okay, one more question from the front, and then we've got this.
Suitability. How much would it cost to take a 366 course?
Well, our standard sort of individual course for one person coming on for 5 days between both internal and external fibre, that's 1,425 plus VAT, and that's including everything, except accommodation. But we can do discounts for 2 or more people, and my colleague is a bit inclined to do discounts. Anything.
Okay.
And I'm the person I have to walk them back and say, actually, we do need to make a little bit of money. It might sound a lot compared to other courses, but that's partly because of cost of equipment, and because it's a very practical skills course, we only train up to 6 people at a time. Means sort of one fusion splicer between each 2 people, one OTDR between each 2 people in the course, and they cost quite a lot.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks very much for doing that.